There is no smoking, no vaping, and you must be in a closed-toed shoe only. Thank you very much for your anticipated cooperation.
Five Hardy's Highway boat races in Decatur, Illinois. For this race break, we want to shout out the sponsors who have helped in bringing the stream. Let's kick it off by shouting out the company responsible for the views from the sky, Aerial Elite Solutions, a drone service provider serving an array of industries. Whether you need captivating footage of an event, a live
Yes, sir.
Thanks for who have want to shout out the sponsors who have helped in bringing the stream. Let's kick it off by shouting out the company responsible for the views from the sky, Aerial Elite Solutions, a drone service provider serving an array of industries. Whether you need captivating footage of an event, a live stream from the air, high quality data for construction projects or inspection work, or aerial videos and photos, Aerial Elite Solutions has the professional pilots and cutting edge technology to bring your vision to life. Contact Aerial Elite Solutions today at flyaes.com to see how they can elevate your next project. In the meantime, if you are enjoying the view, like and follow the page you're viewing it on. Transform your space with Clean Cut Painting and Handyman. They offer professional painting, staining, and power washing for both homes and businesses. Their team takes care of everything from prep to cleanup, delivering high-quality results you can count on. Whether you're planning an exterior refresh, a full interior makeover, or just need help with repairs and improvements, they are here to help. Give them a call at 217-672-5654 to bring your vision to life. For all your real estate needs, call Dylan Geyser with Main Place Real Estate. Truly local, truly expert. Find your next place with Main Place. Craving something local, laid back, and delicious? Head to Maddie's, your small town spot with big flavor. They're serving up specialty burgers, wings, sandwiches, and weekly specials that hit the spot every time. Cold drinks, good people, and food worth coming back for. That's how they do it at Maddie's. So stop by 350 North Wall Street in Macon, Illinois. Pull up a chair, grab a bite, and make yourself at home. Maddie's is your neighborhood bar and grill, just the way you like it. Transform your backyard into paradise with Family Home and Patio, where relaxation meets home. Whether you're dreaming of a sleek in-ground pool, a low-maintenance above-ground setup, or the perfect patio for summer nights, their expert team brings your vision to life using high-quality American-made products built to last. Stop by their Decatur showroom to explore premium hot tubs, pool chemicals, filters, and all the accessories you need to keep your water crystal clear and your weekends worry-free. Need a hand with upkeep? Their professional technicians handle maintenance and repairs year-round, so your backyard stays party-ready in every season. Family owned, family operated, and family focused. At Family Home and Patio, they treat you like one of their own. Give them a call at 217-877-2808 today and take the first steps towards creating your backyard oasis. Looking for a place where the drinks are cold, the vibes are hot, and the jackpots are just a spin away? Stop by Hallie's Sips and Slots, where happy hour hits different and luck loves company. Hallie's is your favorite neighborhood hotspot to grab a drink and try your hand at winning big. Open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. and located in Kings Plaza in Mount Zion. Head over to Hallie's Sips and Slots, where every night's a good time waiting to happen. Are you buying or selling a home? Let Abby Galladay get you to the real estate finish line without stress. Better Home and Gardens real estate agent Abby Galladay is here to guide you every step of the way with experience, honesty, and hustle. From first tours to final signature, she'll make sure you cross the finish line with confidence. Call or text Abby at 217-972-6893. Whether you're buying or selling, she'll turn your next move into your best move. At Oakwood Screen Printing, they believe great style should be for everybody and every occasion. From business tees and team gear to holiday shirts and custom designs for special events. They've got you covered in sizes and styles that fit every shape, budget, and vibe. Women-owned and proudly rooted in Decatur, Illinois, they bring over 25 years of experience and a whole lot of heart to everything they print. They give back to the community, support local causes, and help you show up in style on the field, in the office, or wherever life takes you. Stop by Oakwood Screen Printing at 234 South 22nd Street. Give them a call at 217-706-5520. Online at oakwoodscreenprinting.com to bring your vision to life. Your local real estate experts, Beck Realtors, are proud to be a part of this amazing community. When it comes to real estate, you deserve more than just a sign in the yard. You deserve a partner who truly knows the market. We bring hometown knowledge, expert guidance, and a personal touch to every step of the real estate journey. Whether you're buying or selling, give Beck Realtors a call at 217-853-3550, and let's make this move together. Bobby Lane's Barbecue. Not only are they serving up some of the best smoked meats in town, they're also the only full-service dine-in barbecue restaurant with a full bar. From tender brisket and pulled pork to signature cocktails and cold beer, Bobby Lane's is barbecue worth stopping for. Whether you dine in, carry out, or hit their food truck, Bobby Lane's Barbecue has you covered. Stop by 445 North Franklin Street in Decatur, Illinois, and get your barbecue feast on. If your boat needs a bigger garage, find a place to drop anchor with Valerie Wallace of Main Place Real Estate. Make your next move your best move. It's a great day at the Beach House. Located at 1001 South Lakefront Road overlooking Lake Decatur, their beautiful deck offers the perfect view to pair with your next unforgettable meal. They serve fresh food daily, supporting organic farms and sustainable fisheries because quality matters. From seafood and steaks to sandwiches, salads, wine, and craft cocktails, every bite is made to inspire. Whether it's date night or just Tuesday, treat yourself to something better. You deserve it. The Beach House Restaurant, fresh food, good vibes, and the best lakeside views. For over 30 years, the Sullivan name has delivered trusted general contracting work from remodels and rebuilds to additions and new construction for commercial, industrial, and mixed-use projects. At Sullivan Contractors, we know time is money. That's why we combine expert craftsmanship with workplace safety, transparency, and integrity every step of the way. We get the job done on time and on budget without ever sacrificing quality, so your business keeps moving and your vision stays on track. Visit SullivanContractors.net or call 217-425-0889 and build something solid together. Midwest Lightning Rods have been lightning protection system design and installation experts for over 100 years. From farm and residential to commercial and industrial,
Well, here we are, Dick Delsner. We are back in Decatur, Illinois. Where we are, where we were, and where we're going. And we can almost kind of mix that up just a little bit. You've already heard Mayor Moore say that we are anticipating clear skies today. As a guy who has been doing this for so long, I thought about this morning as I got up and was kind of reminiscing on where this thing started so many years ago for me. I was standing on this very platform, and it was Mark Webber and Tad Whitten who were standing nearly where some of our race officials are. They had just introduced what we called the mini jet boats. The Bombardiers and the Sea-Doos were being announced, and at that time, APB announcer Bill Nettle said, "I want absolutely nothing to do with this." Tad turned to me and turned to Mark and said, "Hey, you're in radio." I said, "Yes." They said, "Why don't you announce this?" I said, "Because I do basketball, football, things like that." And they said, "Well," Mark Webber looked at me and said, "Make something up." I said, "Mark, I don't even know who's out there." And they gave me a score sheet, and so it began. Shortly after that, Dick, I was fortunate enough to meet you, and we have just had the pleasure through the years of doing everything along the Eastern Shore in the central United States, Cambridge, the Detroit Grand Gold Cup, the granddaddy of them all, and, of course, right here in Decatur. We came back last year after a 20-year hiatus, and, oh, what a time we had last year.
Really undescribable. I've never been to an event. I've had my vintage boat here last year. It's not here this year, but I had my vintage boat here, and I've never been at an event where that many spectators and volunteers walked up, looked at my boat, and said, "Hey, I want to thank you for bringing your equipment here." That just doesn't happen. It just shows you the lust for boat racing this town really has.
Well, I think for those people who are familiar with Decatur, and people like myself who grew up on the banks, I've got a heavy heart this year, Dick. This time last year, my mother made her way down here and unfortunately lost her just over a month or so ago. But she was one of those people who really enjoyed boat racing. I grew up in this town on boat racing, and we were very sad to see it go 20 years ago. So hats off and a tip to both Sean Bowser and his team, and of course the mayor and Clay and everyone who worked tirelessly to bring boat racing back to the banks of Lake Decatur. It is one of the premier spots, not just here, but in the country. You saw last year, it's a very fast body of water. We set a new world record here last year, and the conditions, if they won't pan out the way we anticipate, you could see some incredible speeds here again this weekend.
We could set a record here very easily, and the fact that we set one last year will bring better boats this year, because once a guy knows that's a possibility, the guys with the fast equipment want to come. And all right, we got another cool thing that's happened is what happened last year after this at the national meeting, this got named the best race in the country. And for a relatively a first-time kind of new event, to win that kind of recognition from the American Powerboat Association was really special.
Can you hear me out there?
Vintage can go.
Vintage boats, you are clear to take the water. Vintage boats, you are clear to take the water.
And as you know, Miles, with vintage boats, they won't be racing. They do exhibition runs, but they're thrilled to be out here on this body of water as any of the racers here.
So, Dick, we'll have a lot of things to talk about all weekend long. And, I talked about where we were. That's, many years ago, where we are, which is right now the host of the Eastern Divisional Championships. And when you run for a championship race, that in and of itself says so much. You're putting a championship number on your boat. That means you were the best of the best. Unfortunately, we also have to talk about the glaring obvious, and that is we are missing some drivers because of change in the schedule on the big circuit. Gunnersville in Alabama, they announced the unlimited change, and a lot of the premier drivers had to leave or make that decision. It split families, it split teams, and quite candidly, it split friends. This is a sport where you race each other side by side, and when you get in the pits, if somebody's got a problem, you give them your part, they give you your part, you all work together to get back onto the water. Some of that will be missed this weekend as the attention is not only here, but also in Alabama as well.
Yeah, as attendance has dropped a little bit at some of the events, we hate to split them up. And that's what happens is those people have to make a decision. The people that are following the H1 circuit kind of got to go. It's their first event of the year. They only have 5, so you don't want to miss it. But we hate to see any of those, and those are some of the best drivers in the country, in the world, and we miss them not being here because the quality of the drivers brings a lot to the event, as we saw last year with Tate setting a record.
Absolutely. You know, we won't dwell on it, but I will mention it a time or two because next year, Dick, this thing grows even more. Next year, it's got the Nationals.
National Championship. That's the thing. The Eastern Divisionals that is this year, this is like the second most important race of the year. Nationals is up first. There's an Eastern Divisional champion and a Western Divisional champion. If you can win any of those three races, everybody in the country knows you're fat.
Dick, let's talk a little bit because you were a racer who did this for so many years, and then when you finally retired, you just couldn't get it out of your blood. You went back, you did the announcing, and now you've got the vintage boat. You were the driver of the Southpaw for so many, many years. But what goes through your mind on race day, especially on the divisional championship day, when you're getting ready, you're looking at wind conditions, you're checking everything else. How do you get ready for a race like this?
First thing you do when you wake up in the morning is peek out the window. And if the trees are blowing around at 7 a.m., not going to be good. From my experience, you got to make it to about 10:30 without wind. And we got some wind here right now. It could be a factor later today. So the first thing you want to do is, with a hydroplane, they're made to fly on their own. You don't need wind. So the first thing you do is kind of check the conditions and hope for the best.
I remember some 20-plus years ago, one of the things that you said is, Milas, always remember, drivers have to remember, that pedal goes both ways. Some guys just don't like to lift. But you have to know how to feather that when you're running on a big body of water like Lake Decatur, especially when you're going to keep it open for most of the way around the course.
You got two of the old A boats out there running with each other. That just looks cool. And it reminds us of where we came from. And those boats probably had some history running here. Well, the one was Vernon Higgins' boat. I know he ran here in Decatur quite a few times. Not sure how he did. But we're certainly vintage, and all the racing members that are here are really thrilled to be back at Lake Decatur.
And Dick, when you look at this 1.25-mile surveyed course, when we say surveyed, that means everything is in place. It is set for a world record. Those buoys and pins are very, very important. Let's talk a little bit, not necessarily right now, but some of the terminology that people will hear throughout the weekend. They're going to hear terms like 1 to the 5, 5 to the 5, inside the 5 minute. What does that mean?
Really boat racing talk. Just like they do in yacht racing or sailboats, we utilize a 5-minute gun. And you're not allowed to leave the pits till the 5-minute gun sounds. We actually don't still use a gun. There was a time we had a cannon up here, and it used to scare the hell out of everybody. But so they start a 5-minute clock. It's right there on the corner of the judges' stand. You have your own watch. You'll start. If your watch doesn't match up with theirs, they're right all the time. You always go by that one. And after 4 minutes, there's some certain places on the race course you're not supposed to be in that final minute. There's a square buoy right straight across from us on the backstretch. They got to pick that up after the 1 minute. And then you want to establish a lane there, stay in your lane. Ideally, you want to get to this checkerboard buoy right here, the start-finish line, right as the clock hits 0, and be going wide open. If you can pull that off, you can get down to the first turn and lead a lot of your friends and continue to lead.
You're going to hear us talk about things like entering turn 1. If you're looking at the lake, that means you're looking down to the right-hand side over toward the Lakeshore Bridge. Then we'll talk about the backstretch. That's over there on the South Shore side. And then we'll mention things like coming into the Devon Amphitheater turn. That'll be the turn that's to your left. That's what we're going to call the Devon turn all weekend long. So those are going to be some things that you hear us say. Those are going to be different positions on the race course. And as Dick mentioned, when they get out there, the strategy begins. Where are you? Are you faster inside, faster outside? What's your competition like? And folks, this is for all the marbles. We've got 2 days of racing, but day 1 is really important because this is the day we are crowning champions.
Eastern Divisional champion. I was fortunate enough to win it twice, both times in Raleigh, North Carolina. Both times on a course very similar to this, big with big turns. This course kind of surprised some of our Canadian friends, Milas, that came down here. The HRL circuit, they run a lot of small, tight courses, maybe less than a mile. The Grand Prix finished their final in less than 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 48 seconds. So you couldn't do that on a course this big. But the Canadian guys are, I've never been on a turn this big. And I said, well, you'll learn a lot about turning here this weekend. When they're this big, Miles, you can keep it, your foot in it, flat-footed all the way around.
While we've got the break in the opportunity, we'll talk a little bit about some of our sponsors. The Warren Daniel Hardy Foundation, of course, the Decatur Park District in the city of Decatur, and the Decatur Area Convention and Visitors Bureau, as well as the Decatur Building and Trades Union, the Village of Forsyth, and Classy Grass Service. Thank you, Cody. Land of Lincoln Credit Union, thank you all so much for stepping up this year and helping us in our sponsorships throughout the weekend. We could not do this without you, Milas Copeland, Dick Elsner. So happy to be home, so happy to welcome him back. Some old faces I saw this morning. Joe Cheesem stopped me on the way in and said, "Who is that?" So haven't seen Joe in some 20-plus years, but it's good to see some of the old racers that we have known for decades make their way back to Decatur.
So much history on this race course, so many memories that come here. I remember being up here at the end of the day. We'd bring a cooler up here and kind of tell stories and relive what had happened during the day of racing. This is a great spot for us to announce from. It's a bird's eye view. We're up like second level, overlooking this beautiful body of water. And, you know, as calm as it is now, Miles, we sure hope it can stay that way for the racers. 3 vintage boats out there now. A Lauterbach hull, a Jones hull, and I can't remember what the Tijuana taxi is. But the vintage guys love to run a race course like this, especially with these water conditions as they are right now. So you read through them already, but great sponsorship involvement at this event. Sean Bowser, a local racer here that you and I knew him from, he just raced a Y boat for a lot of years. And he lived right here, and he was a former police officer in Decatur.
Still?
He's retired.
Oh, yes, that is true.
Yeah.
He's got life on the easy
He can't get
side.
us a ticket.
Oh, man, if I had known that, I'd have probably come through here a little faster this morning.
Yeah. Well, I was kidding when I talked to him. I said, usually if I talk to a cop, it's cost me money. So the vintage guys return to the pits, and this is a hard pit to get back into, Miles, because hydroplanes, everything about them is made to turn left. What do you got to do here? Make a big right turn to get into the pits. So you want to slow way down out there before you turn the boat. My nephew came in here driving for somebody. I see him finish. I go, okay, he's going to go back. I turn around, go down the steps, and I hear the and he did. He turned right too fast. It spit him right out of the boat. Boat's laying there. He's about 50 feet from it, and I was mad. So you got to be careful just getting in the pits here.
Well, if something like that should happen today, we are fortunate to have the Decatur Fire Department on hand, and they've got their rescue divers on board. So thank you. It goes out to the Decatur Fire Department and all the emergency personnel, first responders here with us. You know, we used to talk about Box 21. That was the Region 6 dive team that used to travel with us across the circuit, but now we've got some different hands on, and of course we appreciate the expertise. We hope they get to sunbathe all weekend and don't have to actually go into action, but just in case, we've got them on hand just in case we need them.
Yeah, they're the last guy here you want to meet is one of the safety patrol boat drivers or the medic boat that'll come and put you in the basket if you make it in. We ran our first vintage heat there, no incidents. And we do have a congested pit area, so everybody's got to be pretty polite coming and going.
Well, after last year's success, you know, Dick, one of the things that they did, and I know that Sean worked hard at this, expand the area of the pits. Last year was a little crowded, but they've really stretched it out thanks to Clay and some other people who made some adjustments. So you've got some room in the pits, and I think that later on today we'll have an opportunity to open those up. So fans, stick around. If you'd like an opportunity to get up close and personal, meet some of the drivers, get some autographs and things like that, you'll have an opportunity to do that later on this afternoon as well.
That was one of the highlights of last year. We had a little storm come through, and while it did, we opened up the pits and let kids get autographs and meet the drivers, and it went over really well.
One of the things, Dick, that, you know, sometimes you have to know when you can say something and when you can't screw it up. And Patty Hayes has been on me since we left last year to make sure I knew who was driving the boat. She's got drivers here. She's got drivers in Guntersville. She's got, I don't know, there's so many Hayes driving, but Kyle Hayes is in the S35. I got it, Patty. Kyle Hayes is in the S35 today. We won't screw that one up.
Yeah, he's driving today, and tomorrow will be Austin Hayes. But, yeah, she ran that by me once today already. She must be worried about it.
up first? Y boats?
No, S.
S boats? All right. Qualifiers first.
The starting line organized,
Okay.
and as soon as that's done, we'll
Go 1 to 5. All right, sir.
let the drivers know.
Drivers, we are finishing up some last-minute arrangements up here on the judges' stand, getting everything lined up for you. And just as soon as we finish plugging some things in, we will give you the 1 to 5. So sit tight, relax just a little bit, give us a few minutes, and again, we will give you 1 to 5 just as quick as we can. Okay, so we don't have. Dick, is that the only score sheet that you got?
I'm underlining the ones that are there because I got more listed.
All right. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to switch this.
The ones I underlined are headed out. Okay.
Are you? Okay, that works.
No pressure, but yeah, it helps a lot.
I had to come up and say hello.
Good. Doing all right? Yeah. Good. You know, hey, I'm staying right here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here. I got my machine down here, so I told him at the break, you know, I'll probably go down and sit in the trailer and put ice on it. Come back up and go again.
Well, if you need anything. All right, good to see you. Thank you.
Whatever you see on there is what's on that box.
Is there 2 heat sets?
One heat. We're running 8 of them or 9 of them.
All right, Dick, what numbers do you have on the 2.5s? 1 out of 5, drivers. 1 out of 5.
Who's controlling box in 5 minutes? In 5 minutes. Okay. I gotta watch this. This just started right. That's not count. No, it won't count. It always starts at 5. That was my one downfall. So when you start,
30 seconds, drivers. 30 seconds.